looking back on the win versus New Mexico State, I was really proud of our guys. I thought you look at the growth of this team. Last year, we were not able to get stops down the stretch in key moments where we did it. This year on the road, we go get a huge steal. Nelly did. We get a stop before the Donovan layup. That was big. So a great win. Proud of our guys to be able to sweep a rival, which is hard to do. And I thought it would be a tough game, especially following up our first game, and was not surprised by the way it went. So Donovan's finish was as good as any finish I've ever seen, but I talked about those 3 plays. Nelly would be, if I had a game ball to give, Nelly would have gotten it. 5 steals, amazing. The way he was in ball screens was phenomenal. And then Jalen House's 3 to go along with Donovan's amazing layup. So great to get the sweep. We now move on to maybe the most challenging game of the year. UC Irvine is a team analytically that's high in the net. They're high in KenPom. They won at USC. They had San Diego State beat at San Diego State. It is a very, very difficult game to go along with the elements of before Christmas, all those things that every coach worries about. But as we put together the schedule, we just thought it would be a good opportunity. So we're going to need great fan support like we always have, and we're going to have to be dialed in because it'll be a challenging one.
The fact that the New Mexico State team you beat by 44 and then gave you everything you can handle a week ago maybe helped this game before Christmas lull that kind of can sneak up on teams sometimes? Or are they awake or are they...
I don't think they weren't awake versus New Mexico State. I think the other team gets scholarships too. I think New Mexico State will get better as the year goes on. I think somewhere in the middle of maybe we were just great the first time we played them, and they were better the second time we played them. So I don't think it was an effort thing. We built that lead in the second half. Thought we got a steal. Donnie missed a layup. Then we turned the ball over and let him back in the game. But I don't know. I mean, every team is certainly different. Every coach is always worried about the game before Christmas and that first game after Christmas. But, if you approach it the right way, hopefully it's not an issue.
You just talk a little bit more about Nelly, obviously a dude that came in a little late. How has he progressed? And he's looking pretty good, obviously.
Yeah, terrific. Got here October 31st and threw him right into the fire because he's a very important piece to what we're trying to do. You look at defensively, how we're able to guard is a lot different because of him, whether it's blocking shots, whether it's hedging ball screens. He is a difference maker in those things, and that can change a defense. One guy can change a defense, and Nelly was about as disruptive in a ball screen defensively as I've seen. I also think he's getting better offensively. So it just looks way more comfortable now than he did in the past, and all normal. It was a very unfortunate situation that he was stuck in Nigeria, but happy he's here.
You mentioned to us after the game that you anticipated that high ball screen. Did you talk to him at all to say, hey, let's really hedge this and see if we can?
Yeah, we talked about the coverage. Yeah, we thought it'd go into, they run a series of things out of a stack set. We figured that's what they would go to. And we wanted Nelly to be aggressive in it. And he made a winning play.
Is Jalen's, he hasn't been playing bad overall, but his shooting has kind of fallen off after that first game. And I know when you have that much time off, that plays into it. Is there anything more to it than that? Is he 100% healthy, or is it just the...
He's healthy. Yeah, just a lot of time off. Same thing's going to happen with Mash whenever he does come back. He's not going to be 100%. And there's going to be rhythm and timing and all those things. But, no, he's healthy.
I don't even know how you handle Jalen at this point when it comes to things like ripping off a jersey in the wrestling thing. Do you even talk to him about it?
Oh, yeah.
He gets it.
No, I talked to him about it. And here's what I say to him is this. For one, there's an art to getting calls to the refs. He clearly fails miserably every single game he plays in with getting calls with the refs. So he needs to change his approach. The other thing is I told him this after the game. I said, you're in a contract year. you're trying to go make the NBA. You never want anything you do on the court to reflect poorly against you. Why are you tearing your jersey? Like there's no conceivable reason why he should do that at that time. He's emotional, great. That's why he's a great player. But there's certain things that he's doing that he's just got to dial it down a little bit. So I didn't see it at the time, and I actually didn't see it when I got the game afterwards because I get it edited a little bit. But then I rewatched it the other day, and I just said, "You're making yourself look bad." It's just like me when I'm getting technicals. I'm making myself look bad. There's a difference between fighting for your team and doing those things. But I always tell the players, every time somebody turns on a game, you either increase or decrease your value. And you never want anyone to watch you and say, he's consumed with the refs, he's emotional, he's this and that. No, you want to make sure you're figuring that part out of it. So he understands it. Part of Jalen is he's like my dad a little bit. When I worked for my dad for 3 years, he would scream and yell at you. And then he'd be like, "Oh, let's get a beer." I'm like, "I don't want to get a beer with you. Like, you're yelling at me the whole game." And he'd be like, "Whoa, what's the problem?" And I'm like, "This is what you said to me. This is what you did." He'd be like, "Oh, I don't remember any of it." That's Jalen. Like, he doesn't do it intentionally. But I want him every time he's out there to showcase himself in the most positive light possible so that his game does the talking.
Since it's similar to that question, let me do a quick follow-up. In a very different way, Donovan Dent is a very big talker to referees.
Another one. It's not working. Yes. I tell them all the time. You're just making yourself look bad. If you complain to the refs all the time, it just makes you look like you're whining all the time. And NBA scouts don't want to see that. So, am I going to bench him because of it? Probably not. Maybe I should. But it's a distraction. I've told them over and over again, like, I've never seen players at the college level who are better when they're constantly consumed with the wrong things. Maybe the pro level, these guys are so good they can do it. I know I can't do it when I'm distracted. So in that game, they both had brilliant moments, but absolutely 100%. They're just showcasing themselves in a negative light, and they're great people, and they're great players. They need to stop doing it. They need to stop being so distracted by it.
But you talked about it earlier, but what do you get to see out of this UC Irvine team? Coming off a big win, got a couple good guards. What do you expect?
I mean, they blew out South Dakota, who is a good team. They are well coached. They've got just a history of success. Offensively, very, very disciplined. Defensively, in the right place at all times. They had the San Diego State game won. They won at USC, neck and neck at Utah State. So it's a game that we have a high level of respect for. They're what in the net? 55 in the net. So this is a, potential quad 2 type win. So we know it's going to be extremely challenging. And their coach has been there a long time and did a great job.
Traditionally, they've always been huge.
Yeah.
Are they like that?
They're big. Yeah, they're maybe not as big as some of those massive NCAA tournament teams, but they are definitely big. They've got, kind of high major size. They've got a post threat. They run kind of offensive flow like we do, and they run it really well.
As far as the pregame or pre-Christmas game distractions, how many of your guys are going home? How many are staying here?
Almost everybody, but Nelly's staying. Isaac Mushila's staying. There's 3 guys staying. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. So everybody else will be going home.
Shane's from here.
He is from here. Yes, thank you.
So some of that stuff is sort of what leads into that distraction, right? Like they're already kind of finding.
I don't think it's a distraction. Now, there's elements to it. Okay, you're clearly going to write an article about the distraction, so I'm going to help you out. But here's the distractions. If you play a game early in the day and tell everybody they can leave after the game, distraction. Done that before. At Florida, we did that. We lost to Jacksonville. We went to Elite Eight that year, won the SEC. So it just depends on the place. It has not been a distraction the first 2 years. If you have a lot of guys that can drive home, could be a distraction. So I'm not worried about it. I wouldn't have scheduled a really good opponent right before it if I was concerned with it now more so than maybe if I lived in, worked in Minnesota, guys are driving home right after the game and so on. But this is going to feel like a normal game, and you'll leave the next day. I'm concerned with UC Irvine. I'm not concerned with the trap game part of it.
NMSU hit 3 big threes late, in 3 consecutive possessions. All 3 of them looked like pretty good looks too. Was there something missing, or did they just?
No, I thought they made good plays. There was one where JT maybe could have gotten out there a little bit more, but honestly, I thought they did a good job of kind of pulling our defense in, kicking out. I think they were 7 for 9 from 3 in the second half, so they were shooting with great confidence. So I don't think it was necessarily huge miscues on our part. There was one miscue underneath out of bounds. We absolutely guarded it the wrong way, but the other ones I thought were really good offensive plays.
Anything else?
Joe, Rob?
Did you get a DeVito jersey for Jack?
I did not get a DeVito jersey. In-laws coming in tomorrow. So, gonna drive around the city a lot while they're here without them by myself. No, they're coming in and they'll come to the game, and that's about it. We're not doing much. I mean, we normally travel, but I kind of think with little kids, I like staying home. So we'll have 4 days off. Hopefully I can get healthy. I've had a lingering cold for the last 2 weeks. And then just show the in-laws good old New Mexico.
Christmas isn't distracting you before this game.
I am not distracted. I am locked in, ready to go.
One other quick question. Do you have anything you want to say about St. John's and how good of a team that might be? Since somebody said some
St. John's. What in reference? Oh! I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
What are the best teams in the Big East? And the answer is
yeah, the funny part about it is it was clear that was the first game he watched because he couldn't stop talking to the media, tweeting about it. I said, you haven't watched the previous 10 games because they were on the Mountain West Network app, and God forbid he opens up that app. So good to see that he chimed in and watched, and we'll work. I mean, I was thinking about this morning about can we schedule something up there in the Garden? I think that would be, although I don't want to deal with, the stupid questions from the media, but it would be a good experience, I think, for the media, for everybody, if we could pull it off. But it is cool to, when he's able to watch, just to see his insight on everything.
Did Jack really show up on game day with the St. John's T-shirt on?
He did. I don't think he meant to do it. He had a sweatshirt on, and then he took it off, and he forgot he had it on.
Do you talk to him like you talk to Jalen and Donnie about?
I do. Yeah, he's worse than them with the refs. But you know what? He's just like his mother. His mother's horrendous with the refs as well. The difference is he knows the rules. Jill does not know the rules.
Last week, what the biggest difference between the 2 games was?
I mean, we knew it would be different for sure. And, I mean, it was an away game as well. You don't really – it's not too often that you blow teams out twice in a row. The next game, usually they come put their best foot forward, and that's what they did. And I'm just glad we came out with the win.
They had a couple shots down the stretch, and I'd asked Coach, he didn't think it was many necessarily breakdowns or anything, but they did hit a lot of threes in the second half, and I'm curious if there was something you saw that maybe you guys needed to do better, or were they might have just been hitting shots. I'm curious what you saw with them and the 3-pointer in the second half.
A few plays, I'm sure there were some mistakes, but there's going to be mistakes every game. Nobody goes to a game perfect, but they hit some big shots. They were up for the game. They brought their A game, and it was definitely a tough game. They hit some shots, and we contested a lot of those shots as well. And it happens, but we still found a way to come out with the win.
You're one of the leaders on this team, experienced. Do you say anything to the teammates about focus in on this one, and we'll think about Christmas when Christmas comes?
I think everybody has the mentality. We just have to. We're in the season now, so everything else outside of this is secondary. Doesn't really matter. So we have another game to be our best, and then we get a little break. But we got to focus on tomorrow.
Where are you at right now mentally and just with your game? Are you feeling pretty good? There weren't a whole lot of shots necessarily last game, but the ones you took seemed to be pretty effective. Are you pretty happy with what you're doing? Is there anything you can do to maybe get some more shots?
I mean, just continue to be aggressive, and I mean, just continue to be aggressive, take advantage of my opportunities, and continue to get better off the court. I mean, well, outside of games, continue to practice hard, continue to get my individual shots up and things like that, and then when the games come, just do everything I can to just be aggressive and help the team win.
Just being a leader on this team, just now, how many other games in? How are you feeling about where this team's at? Just both offensively, defensively, gelling, everything like that.
I mean, we've gotten better since the first game of the season. We've gotten better every game, whether it was just chemistry off the court, getting to know each other better, chemistry on the court, getting to know each other better, and where people, like to get shots from, everybody's role, being confident in their role and things like that. We've been getting better, and we just have to continue to practice and continue to get 1% better every day. And hopefully come March and things like that, we'll be where we want to be.
Nelly's a guy that obviously had a really good game the other day. From your perspective, since he's been here now, a month and a half is all still, but how's his progress, and how's that helping the team now that he's, pretty much comfortable, it looks like?
For sure. I mean, it's been great. It took him a while to get here, and we can all see that he's gotten better since he got here, for sure. So we're all going to continue to work. We're all going to get better individually, and we're all going to get better as a team as well, and that's what we need to do to be at our best.
Do you enjoy that up-tempo defensive style when you're picking them up in three-quarter at least, and trying to trap when you can, and that kind of? Do you enjoy that kind of defense?
For sure. When we're super aggressive and playing super hard, and we force a lot of turnovers, and we get a lot of points in transition off of that. And I mean, as you can see, the harder we play and the more aggressive we are, the better games we have as well. So it's good for us, and we need to continue to do it.
Just kind of talk about this matchup coming up. What do you see now? UC Irvine?
They're a really good team. But we're going to have to just focus on ourselves. Like I said, get better every day, come out here and play hard and be aggressive. And just let the results speak for itself, whatever it is.
You going to be able to get home, see some family or anything after this game?
For sure.
Back in California, good. All right.
Yeah.
What's your cheesy Christmas question here? Favorite gift when you were a kid? Do you remember?
When I was a kid, I got some Kobe 4s for Christmas. And Kobe's my favorite player growing up, and I got some Kobe 4s in the Lakers colorway, and I loved them.
Do you remember how old you were?
I don't remember how old I was, but I was little. I was really little. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Home Alone 2. Oh, yeah, Home Alone 2. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna watch it here in the next couple of days.
You watch it every year?
Oh, for sure. I watched the first two. The third one, when Macaulay Culkin wasn't acting anymore, then I stopped watching them. But the first two, I love them.
Do you guys? Does a team? I mean, I've never asked this, but you guys don't exchange gifts or anything. Do you as teammates? Do you?
No, I've never done that before.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never done that.
I've never actually asked that.
Yeah, no, I've never done that.
Do you guys bump Christmas music in the locker room?
Nah, we don't do that either. We probably should one of these days, either today or tomorrow, a little bit, but yeah, probably not, honestly.
What's your favorite thing on the table at Christmas dinner?
Usually is gumbo. I don't know if I have gumbo this year, but it's usually gumbo.
Just in case anybody listening at home might hear.
For me,
this.
just in case. Just in case.
Gumbo,
Yeah, I doubt it this year because I won't be with the whole family. Like my grandma won't be there, but yeah, usually gumbo.
I wanted to ask you about I asked you after the game, but follow up. Lobos are down 4, huge possession, and you've been shooting the eyes out of it, and you get the ball on the perimeter, and there's a moment it looked like you were going to shoot it, but you end up passing for the huge 3 that Jalen made. Take us through that whole sequence and what was going through your mind.
Well, when I got the ball, I was looking to shoot it, and the defender kind of closed out kind of quickly. I still felt confident to shoot it, but when he closed out, I felt like we could get a better shot in that situation, and Jalen ended up. I drove it. Jalen lifted and gave him the ball, and he hit a big shot. I wasn't thinking too hard into it. I kind of just play off of instinct and things like that. And, he made a big shot and gave us opportunity to win the game.
Did you know he was going to be there? Did you see him? Was it Yeah, you said instinctive, but like, did you kind of see him out of the corner of your eye? Or?
Not like when I drove it. Yeah, I saw him. But when I decided not to take the shot, I didn't see him initially. But I knew if I drove, there would be some opportunities that would open up. And he lifted, and Jalen's always ready for the opportunity when it presents itself.
That's a great point. We have some guys that have confidence. Jalen's is through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the stones that it takes to want that shot, that's a big deal, isn't it?
For sure. We have a lot of guys that want those shots and not afraid of them. So it makes all of our decisions easier when we have guys like that, and we can trust each other to not be scared to take the shot. Whether it goes in or out, having the confidence to take it is most of the battle.
Can you talk about that Donovan Dent bucket too, from your point of view, man?
Man, I was on the bench at that point, and usually when you see him going full speed, he finishes it more times than not. But the move he made, man, that was a crazy move and a crazy finish as well. But I mean, we've seen him do it all year, even in games. So it wasn't super surprising, but it was still crazy that he did it and did it for game is pretty crazy too.
When you guys watch game film on that, is that something the coaches rewind, or they know you guys already saw it a million times on Instagram?
They definitely know we saw it a million times, but they still showed it. And it was, I mean, it's nice every time you watch it. It's just like watching like Kyrie lay the ball up or something like that and make a nice move. You're going to watch it a lot of times, and every time you see it, it's still nice.
What's he like with it? What does he tell you guys? How many times has Donovan wanted to replay it?
I don't know. I don't know how many times he replays it, but I mean, just the way we were bigging it up, he knows it was a nice move, and he doesn't gas it up too much or flaunt or anything like that. But I mean, we all know that he's able to do things like that and have finishes like that, and for us to gas it up and him not like show too much emotion about it is pretty cool.
What was the conversation right after he hit the shot, the timeout? What was the conversation in that huddle to make, let's get a stop with 17 seconds to go?
Just one more stop. We were all pretty excited that he made the layup at first, but then as soon as we got to the huddle, it was one more stop, and that was over. And we came out. We had to focus to get the next stop and win the game.
Hey, right before you came in, we were talking a little bit about football. Did you ever play football?
Flag when I was very little.
Who would be the best football player on this Lobo basketball team?
That's a great question. Probably True.
True?
Probably True.
What do you think he'd play?
Man, I feel like he'd be a DB.
Yeah. Defense, right?
Yeah, for sure. He'd be a DB somewhere. I don't know if he'd probably be a safety. I could see True playing safety for sure.